Hello, bonjour, Folcha. It's Liam Printer here from the Motivated Classroom podcast with the next of the teaching tips. I'm trying to share just things that literally I've done in my classes in the last couple of days that I don't know if I've talked about on the podcast. So today it's actually just about seating plans and getting up and moving around the room. So today in my year 10 class, so these are students in grade 9, students who are aged about 15, they're in their third year of Spanish, and we are just starting a new unit. And this unit is all to do with the future and how the future might look and the impact of technology. And we started off with some kind of interesting discussion questions about what kind of things will the future hold for us? Do you think there'll be robots in the classrooms in 10 years? What will jobs look like in 20 years? Will the language classroom be the same in 15 years, etc.? Those type of questions. And students were discussing. But one of the ways that I get them to chat with different people and to build those communication skills is after a certain amount of discussion with their partner, then I'll say, okay, everyone who's wearing white, please stand up, go find a new partner. Everyone who's wearing jeans, everyone who has a birthday from January to April, stand up, go find a new partner. And of course, sometimes only 2 people stand up and sometimes 20 people stand up. But it gets them moving around the class, speaking to other people, and they have to go through the formalities when they see the person to say, hello, how's it going? Nice to meet you. Just to kind of practice those things that makes it kind of fun as well. And then they'll have their discussion, and then I might go and do some cold calls. So ask in one group, what were you discussing? And then I'll call on someone else, what was that group discussing once they've shared? And we do this as our discussion task and way to get people to move around the classroom and speak to different people. But as they're doing this, every now and again, I'll stop and then we'll talk about who gave us that point, who was it that talked to us about the fact that there might be robots in the language classroom, who said that, and we'll write it down. And then, as I've spoken to you about before, if we get some similarities or differences between people, as people say, oh yeah, like my brother is working in AI in Florida and he talked about a robot in the language class, for example, that came up today. Well, then that person, we need to write that on the individual page for that person in our class notebooks. So we have our notebooks, but each person has a page. So we find, where's Anthony's page? Oh, it's here. We wrote down, he has a brother in Florida and he works in AI. So we're learning about each other all of the time. So they're getting loads of comprehensible inputs from me as I'm giving them the instructions about what they're wearing, where to move in the class, who's got a birthday when. And of course, I'm commenting on each of the questions as well, talking about their suggestions, but they're in their third year of Spanish. So we're at that stage now where I want them to develop fluency, and they might have some scaffolds on the board like, it will be, I think it will change, or in my opinion, it will be like this. Some scaffolds like that to get the discussion going, and they'll be asking me things. But the idea is to build communication. So this task is mainly an output task in that the kids are speaking a lot amongst themselves, but like in any good output task, there's loads of inputs coming from me. There's input up on the board through the question that's on the board. There's inputs with the language and the scaffolds that are there, but we're developing our fluency and we're developing our communication and our confidence with speaking with different people and developing that language. And then they'll get the inputs from me, and tomorrow we build on this with an input which is reading in detail about what the future may look like. So just a quick one about seating plans and how to get kids to move around the class.